What's up YouTube, Amy's here, and for this video we are going to be doing our first impressions of the anime Love Stage, which just premiered today. Now, Love Stage is a very interesting series because of its story, which we'll get to in a second. I will tell you, right off the bat, that the animation for this series is a very, very, very unique style. Like, I don't think I've seen this style used yet, and it really makes the other studios seem like it's going to have to play catch up a little bit. In case you're wondering, the name of the studio that was responsible, excuse me, that would be JC Staff. So hats off to them. And like I said, the series just premiered today, and I was actually looking forward to it a little bit. So what is the actual story behind Love Stage? Well, the story revolves around a young boy named Izumi Sena. Now, his family, his entire family, are entertainers. His mother, Nagisa, and his father, whose name is Seiya, they're both actors. His brother, Shogo, is a singer, and then he has other relatives in the industry. They have a friend named Rei Sagara, and that's their manager. His brother, you do meet in the first episode. His name is Shogo. Now they have that spelled here, S-H-O-G-O. I'm trying to remember if there was a U in it according to the subtitle. Anyway, here's the gist of the first episode, and sort of kind of the gist of everything from what I gathered from the first episode. There's a bit of a conflict in the family, because you see, they being Seiya, Nagisa, and Shogo, are all in the entertainment business as performers. That's what they want Izumi to do. Izumi, however, wants to be a part of the manga industry, so he's got that clash going with him. The other thing is, and part of the plot of the first episode is, how do we put this? Izumi was a part of a commercial 10 years earlier with the mother and the father. And in that commercial, he performed with a man named Ryamai Ichijo. Now, the thing about that was, this was 10 years earlier, so his appearance was easily altered to look like a woman. And it didn't look any goddamn where near awkward. Well, by the way, the person I mean being altered was Izumi. Anyway, this brings up a situation because the magazine that they did the commercial for originally, which is called Happy Wedding, was celebrating their 10-year anniversary, and Ichigo wanted everybody in the commercial. Well, Happy Wedding, and specifically Ichigo wanted Izumi. Now, he doesn't know that Ichigo is actually a boy. He thinks because of 10 years earlier, Izumi is actually a man. That could cause a problem. The animation, like I said, is, and that's where we're going, by the way, leave that. The animation is really well done, like I mentioned. The story, okay, it's the first episode, so I can't really judge the story yet until I see more of this one, at least, but it's weird. Do you remember how, and some of you may not remember this or not have seen that video, I've said that the hardest animes to judge are ones where you can't tell a protagonist and an antagonist. And I know what you're going to say, well, in this series it kind of isn't supposed to be one. But see, here's my thing, right? And I want you to understand where I'm coming from on this. The parents kinda did everything to push their son into this awkward situation. And I mean awkward. Like, okay, picture being in a commercial 10 years earlier, but because of the fact that you looked different 10 years earlier, you were able to pull it off easier. Now, 10 years later, you have to try and play that same role, and it's like, really? Alright. And the weirdest part is the sole reason, the sole selfish reason that Nagisa so basically wanted to push this on her kid was so she could meet Ryoma. That's it. So when he was pushing and pushing and pushing to try and not do it, what they do? They called his brother. And his brother, because the other thing I didn't mention, Izumi has a fixation with an anime icon named La Lulu. So things that they had to do to get him to be in the commercial, kind of a bitch move if you ask me. I hate to use that word, but it was a little bit. But, so I'm going to have to watch a little bit more just to see how the story plays out with everything with this. But it's kind of like one of those where you kind of like feel awkward a little bit. And I don't mean awkward in the sense of what you're watching, because, fuck, I've seen more Shonen Ai and BL series than most people on Tumblr, to be honest. I've read more than most people know about. Okay? But my whole thing is, you feel bad because he's being pushed into this by his parents. He doesn't really want to do it. He knows what he wants to do. But the manager, Ray, Seiya, and Nagisa, they basically pushed him and thrust him into it. Now what? And especially when you see, like, the end of the first episode, when Ray found out what they had to do at the end, that I think kind of bit him square in the backside. Because he wasn't expecting, all he was expecting was them to film the commercial. He wasn't expecting the end of it, which you'll have to see it if you want to. The series airs on Wednesdays. I'm not sure the exact time, but you can check it out on Crunchyroll. You can also, if you want to, and the place I've been checking out these series is on anime-exceed, EXCEED, and you can check it out on there also. The episodes usually go about a half hour afterwards. If you're going to ask me what I think of this series so far, it's weird because, like I said, the idea of it being a Shonen Ai BL series, that doesn't bother me. I could give two fucks, to be honest. The animation I love. I love that art style. If you ask me about, by the way, the art style of, say, Diabolic Lovers when we get to it, God, I love that art style. I wish more series used that, to be honest. Because that was more like a more hand-drawn, basic approach, like scratch drawing almost in some respects to me. And I actually enjoyed that a lot. But especially when you see the way the hair is drawn, some of the characters, like Reiji. But anyway, the animation in Love Stage is really good. Story-wise, I'm gonna have to see how this really plays out, especially with the parents and Izumi, because right now it's like this. And especially after, like I said, the ending of the first episode, you really have to see where this is going to play out in order to be able to say, is the story really acceptable? I'm going to say, however, that being said, give it a watch. Give it 1 or 2 episodes when the second episode comes up next Wednesday. What the hell? What do you got to lose? And I'm going to say this right now. Nothing bad is going to happen, I don't think. Like, nothing sexual, so you don't have to worry about that. So go check out the series, and I will definitely be keeping you posted on it, especially when I eventually do the review on the series. Oh boy. I'll talk to you all tomorrow, because tomorrow we do Book of Circus for Black Butler. It's Book of Circus, and then the next day we are going to be doing Bakamatsu Rock, which features my homeboy Kishu Taniyama of Utapri and Lacorda fame. Oh, and the main reason I'm actually looking forward to doing Book of Circus for you tomorrow, because Joker is played by my homeboy Mamoru Mayano, the man who played Ichinos Takoya in Utapri. So there's a Utapri connection for the next 2 days. Yes! You all have a good night now.